Concentrate on the divine name of the Master and pray for peace. Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avadharavarishthaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to remove all our ignorance, to remove all obstructions in our way to perfection. Sri Ramakrishna always gives instructions, guidelines for the devotees to practice them in their daily life. He gave the teachings in order to practice them. That means you have to practice. That responsibility is on you. Giving is one thing. I give the food to you. Eating and assimilating is yours. So, though the very good food is given, if your system doesn't assimilate, even though the food is good, you don't have the real benefit of it. That's a very important point which we should remember. Spirituality is intense practical life. So, you must be practically oriented to spiritual ideas. Then you have got right to expect the result. Without practicing, we should not complain in spite of my coming to the temple so long, in spite of attending so many prayers, I am still same way, not finding any improvement, no peace of mind. How to see God? So these things will remain as long as you are not practicing them. First of all, you should know in a clear way the teachings to be practiced one by one. You must note down very specifically. As I told earlier, it's a practically oriented spirituality. If you are very much conscious of the result, be conscious of your practical life, then you will see the wonders. It may be easy, it may be difficult, depending upon your system. If the system is weak, make the system strong, increase your digestive power, then have the benefit of good food. Once a man asked Chaitanya, Swami, Chaitanya is one of the great incarnations, you give the devotees so much instruction, why don't they make much progress? See, he is asking the same question which we usually want to ask. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered in a serious way. Do you want to know the reason? They dissipate their powers in the company of opposite sex. That's why they cannot assimilate spiritual instruction. Sri Ramakrishna is telling these words to the devotee. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said like this. And he made a remark. Sri Ramakrishna said, without chastity, one cannot assimilate the teachings. Golden truth. So you don't have to ask anybody any question. The answer is in yourself. If one keeps water in a leaky jar, what happens? water escapes little by little through the leak. Swami Turiyanandaji, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, referring to chastity, he said it is a bedrock of spirituality. Why they stress so much about chastity? Because if you want to make the mind steady and stable, that is required. Otherwise what happens? Every now and then mind wobbles. Always shaky, terribly shaky, not ordinary shaky, terribly shaky. That's why you always pass through terrible sufferings of depression because of the instability, because of the terrible weakness of the mind. So, that's why all the teachers all over the world stress about this point, maintaining chastity. But people may say, we can't do that, Swami. Then I will say, you can't realize God, my dear friend. I should answer that. Though I may not answer that way, it means that. Golden truth, I have already told you. Keep it safe. Meditate on this. Don't simply talk of, I want this, I want that, why God is not kind, why God is this, that. It makes me not to believe in God. All sorts of complaints and so many gestures, postures. You can't shake the unshakable God. By that process, you are shaking yourself. So what I mean to say, correct the system. No use of weeping and crying and sitting idiot like a stupid person. Act upon immediately. You are so active to do all dirty things of the world. Can you not act in a proper way to strengthen your mind? Why not? Because there is no determination. Somebody should come and pull you. It won't help you, as I said. Unless one is chaste, the mind is never steady. Make sure of it. The best element in our body is preserved by chastity. If there is no chastity, the mind stuff, what we call chitta, becomes extremely unsteady. So what? Then the image of the deity is no more clearly reflected in it. If you want to see God, you have to see God in your mind. That means the mind should be steady, kept neat and clean, transparent, free from all impurities, pollutions. Then you can see the clear image of the deity whom you are worshipping. So, we must give first priority must be given to the practice of chastity. Even though you may be a householder, don't put that label and always keep on telling, I am the householder. What's the use of telling like that again and again? It's done. Think further now. Think further. It's not that you must die like a householder unto death. You must not live like that. Alright, I was a householder. From now on, I will try to maintain the chastity hereafter. I have had enough of this world. Nothing more. You must have that determination. No point in telling this America, this Germany, like that. Whether it is America, Germany, whatever, even in India. If you don't practice chastity, you won't get God. Finished. Of course, these instructions are given to persons who really seek, who really want to see God, to know God, to realize the truth. So by practicing chastity in thought, in words, in actions, and all these levels you must maintain. What is chastity of thought? Don't entertain ugly thoughts or bad thoughts in the mind consciously. Replace them with good thoughts. Read books. By that way, good thoughts are fed into the mind. When you speak, don't speak harmful words or words that excite passion, etc. No more such things. No more joking about the life. Take it seriously. Be careful about what you speak. That means by maintaining your watchfulness, you will be able to maintain chastity in speaking. Speak what is needed. Speak what is essential. And then comes deeds. how you act upon, how you behave in the surroundings, in the family, in the home, outside, inside, everywhere. How do you behave? You have to maintain chastity there also. That means you must be constantly thinking about purity and noble ideas in the mind. That's the way, that's one of the way to maintain the chastity. So, maintenance of chastity is very essential to make the mind really strong. Why the stress is given like this? Because it is well-known fact that this world where we are all living is full of tremendous distractions. What type of distractions? Which arouse your passions, which make you crazy for the sensual pleasures. So, the warning is given. What is that? Please note that the mind is in constant danger of becoming polluted. Little carelessness means mind is dipped into lake of pollution. So it's very important that you should engage your mind in thinking good thoughts, studying good books every day. You must read some book which inspires your spiritual ideas, which take you onward in your spiritual journey. What is spiritual journey? It is nothing but journey from imperfection to perfection, from peacelessness to peace. So, engage your mind in thinking good thoughts, studying good books, and discussing uplifting subjects. Discussion. It clarifies many things, keeps you cheerful. Discussion. Uplifting subjects, that's important. So, they give the method also. The Mahatmas have taken all the trouble to see how you can improve in your life. They tell you, spend your time in worship of God, in service to holy men, and in contemplation. So all these things are possible only when you are very firm. Firmness. You will have to be firm in your vow of chastity. Then only you will be able to experience spiritual truths which is beyond the reach of the senses. You will not overcome by lust and anger anymore if you are firm. Passions seem trivial to you. When you become well established in chastity, you will begin to see the expression of God. Swami Brahmananji, a great spiritual disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, devote yourself to the practice of japam, that is repetition of the divine name, which helps you to practice continence. Then finally he says, well, do you want to know the secret of success? The secret of success is continence. So, Sri Ramakrishna has said in page number 490 of the Gospel, without chastity one cannot assimilate the teachings. That's why you find the world is full of spiritual teachings. It is not in dearth of teachings, but still the world remains as it is because people are not practicing chastity. That's the reason. Now, second important point, Sri Ramakrishna has said, I am concluding the chapter 20, though I am reading chapter 21. Just today I am concluding chapter 20, and next Tuesday I will be speaking on some of the points in chapter 21. So Sri Ramakrishna said, be on your guard. Be on your guard even now. Even now. That means whatever might have happened up to this point, don't worry about that. That's the meaning. Sri Ramakrishna is assuring you, don't worry about how you lived, how you were, Don't bother yourself anymore. By botheration, you're not solving it. Don't make it complicated by thinking over and over again the same thing. I did like this, I did like that, this, that. What is the use? Be on your guard even now. Try to build up your life. Let the resolve be made from today onwards. I will be following the teachings strictly. That means you must guard your thoughts as an alert watchman guards the treasury. His eyes are always on the treasury so that no thief can come and steal away the wealth. Like that you have to be on guard on your thinking. Why? Because life is an interplay of thoughts. Last Sunday I spoke on the power of thought. Life is an interplay of thoughts. Suppose you pour the molten gold into a crucible. It assumes the shape of the crucible. Even so, the mind assumes the form of the object which it pervades. The mind assumes the shape of any object it intensely thinks upon. If it thinks of an apple, it assumes the shape of an apple. If it thinks of Lord Krishna, it assumes the form of Lord Krishna. When I think of Sri Ramakrishna, immediately Sri Ramakrishna form appears in my mind. So you must train the mind properly. Give the mind proper sattvic food for assimilation. We should have a sattvic background of thought or mental image. The same thoughts which are entertained by the man during the day occupy his mind during dream also. If you have purity and concentration, you can make the mind assume any attitude you like. If you think of mercy, think of Buddha. How merciful, what great person. By dwelling yourself on that wonderful quality of mercy manifested by Buddha, your whole being will be saturated with that quality of mercy. If you think of peace, the whole being will be pervaded with peace. So when the mind is free from thoughts, or when you rise the mind from all the thought waves, you will have the glimpse of peace. So it is the mental attitude that determines the nature of an action and brings its fruits. To give an example, you may embrace your mother, you may embrace your sister, or your wife or husband, whatever it might be. The action is the same. Act of embracing is the same. But the mental attitude is different. Though outwardly it looks same act, embracing, sister, mother, wife. But the attitude in each case is different. So, mental attitude. That's very, very important point which we should note. So, all about spirituality you can understand only when you properly handle the mind. Handling the mind is very important. One day, after a long time, I saw a gentleman coming to the chapel. I just asked him, how is it? I didn't see you for a long time. The answer he gave was, my wife is not coming, so I was not coming. That means he is coming for the sake of his wife, not for the sake of temple or Sri Ramakrishna. And I didn't tell him, but I felt that way. I just smiled within my heart. His action depends upon how his wife thinks, how his wife feels, how his wife does things, etc. That means he has lost his mental power completely. As if the mind has been given to the wife totally. As if he has nothing to say about his mind. He can't say any more his mind. So, if you don't control the mind, you can't have the glory of spiritual experience. So try to meditate on these ideas and practice them. The more you practice, the more you become practical and humble. Both. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, page 418. Oh, it's all over. I have read it already. Page number 419. Now my problem is, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, how I can feed all of you. I want to feed everyone. So I keep one at a time with me and feed him. Prana Krishna looking at him and smiling. A fine man indeed, to the master, he said, to the master, referring to master, he said, he would not let us go till we, or to the master, referring to Yam, he said, he would not let us go till we put him ashore. Master smiling, why? What happened? Ramakrishna said, he was in our boat, he means Master Maharshi. Seeing that the river was slightly rough, he insisted on being put ashore. Then Ramakrishna asked him, how did you come? Master Maharshi smilingly said, on foot. Sri Ramakrishna laughed. Ramakrishna said to the master, sir, I am thinking now of giving up my work. One who is involved in activity cannot accomplish anything. Pointing to his companion, I am training him to do my work. After I resign, he will relieve me. Work has become intolerable. Master said, yes, work is very troublesome. It is now good for you to meditate on God for a few days in solitude. No doubt, you say that you would like to give up your work. Captain said the same thing. Worldly people talk that way, but they don't succeed in carrying out their intention. There are many Pandits who speak words of wisdom, but they merely talk. They don't live up to them. They are like vultures, which soar very high, but keep their gaze fixed on the charnel pit. What I mean is that these Pandits are attached to the world, to lust and gold. If I hear that Pandits are practicing discrimination and dispassion, then I fear them. Otherwise, I look upon them as mere goats and dogs. Ramakrishna saluted the master and took his leave. He said to him, will you come with us? Master Maharshi said, no sir, catch me going with you again. Goodbye. Ramakrishna laughed and said, I see you won't come in the boat. Yam took a little stroll near the Panchavati and bathed in the river. Then he went to the temples of Radhakanta and Kali and prostrated himself before the images. He said to himself, I have heard that God has no form. Then why do I bow before these images? I have heard that God has no form. Then why do I bow before these images? Is it because Sri Ramakrishna believes in gods and goddesses with form? I don't know anything about God, nor do I understand Him. The Master believes in images, then why shouldn't I too, who am so insignificant a creature, accept them? Yam looked at the image of Kali. He saw that the Divine Mother holds in her two left hands a man's severed head and a sword. With her two right hands, she offers boons and reassurance to her devotees. In one aspect, she is terrible, and in another, she is the ever affectionate mother of her devotees. The two ideals are harmonized in her. She is compassionate and affectionate to her devotees, to those who are submissive and helpless. It is also true that she is terrible, the consort of death. She alone knows why she assumes two aspects at the same time. Yam remembered this interpretation of Kali given by the Master. He said to himself, I have heard that Keshav accepted Kali in Sri Ramakrishna's presence. Is this, as Keshav used to say, the goddess, all spirit and consciousness, manifesting herself through a clay image? Yam returned to the Master's room and sat on the floor. Sri Ramakrishna offered him some fruit and sweets to eat. An account of trouble in the family. M had recently rented a house in another section of Calcutta, near his school, his father and brothers continuing to live in the ancestral home. But Sri Ramakrishna wanted him to return to his own home, since a joint family affords many advantages to one leading a religious life. Once or twice the Master had spoken to M to this effect, but unfortunately he had not yet returned to his family. Sri Ramakrishna referred to the matter again. Master said, "Tell me that you are going to your ancestral home." Master Mahasaya answered, "I can never persuade myself to enter that place." Sri Ramakrishna asked, "Why?" "Your father is making over the whole house." Master Mahasaya said, "I have suffered too much there. I can by no means make up my mind to go there." Master asked, "Whom do you fear?" M answered, "All of them." Then Master said seriously, "Isn't that like you are being afraid to get into the boat? The midday worship and the offering of food in the temples were over. The bells, gongs and cymbals of the arati were being played, and the temple garden was filled with joyful activity. Beggars, sadhus and guests hurried to the guest house for the noonday meal, carrying leaf or metal plates in their hands. M also took some of the prasad from the Kali temple." Sri Ramakrishna had been resting a while after his meal when several devotees, including Ram and Girindra, arrived. They sat down after saluting the Master. The conversation turned to the new dispensation church of Keshav Chandra Sen. Ram said to the Master, "Sir, I don't think the Navadvidhan has done people any good. If Keshav Babu himself was a genuine man, why are his disciples left in such a plight? I don't think there is anything at all in the new dispensation. It is like rattling some potsherds in a room and then locking it up. People may take it to be the jingling of coins, but inside there is nothing but potsherds. Outsiders don't know what is inside." Master said, "There must be some substance in it, otherwise why should so many people respect Keshav? Why is not Shivanath honored as much as Keshav? Such a thing cannot happen without the will of God. But a man cannot act as an acharya without renouncing the world. People won't respect him. They will say, 'Oh, he is a worldly man.' He secretly enjoys lust and gold himself, but tells us that God alone is real and the world unsubstantial like a dream. Unless a man renounces everything, his teachings cannot be accepted by all. Some worldly people may follow him. Keshav led the life of a householder, hence his mind was directed to the world also. He had to safeguard his family interests. That is why he left his affairs in such good order, though he delivered so many religious lectures. What an aristocratic man he married his daughter to. Inside Keshav's inner apartments, I saw many big bedsteads. All these things gradually come to one who leads a householder's life. The world is indeed a place for enjoyment." Let us stop here. Any doubts and questions for discussion? Any observation? You can highlight some of the points. Opportunity is given. All right. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench the mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when instant separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stillest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt. For Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear, may the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.